Hey, Matt Mathersum here with Matt Madness. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this critically acclaimed programming. We all appreciate you guys being here. Seriously, we do. Before we get into it, I want to give a big shout out to my friends over at Paws Saving Paws. They do exactly what it sounds like. They rescue tons and tons of dogs. So if you could foster, adopt, please reach out to these guys and participate any way you can. You can even head over to my other TikTok channel called That's My Dog, and you can find out more information regarding all of this that I just spoke about. Okay, today we are going to be dealing with this algebraic monstrosity, I think is what the technical term is. And when we see a big, long, drawn out thing like this, what are we looking at? Well, we've got fractions, obviously, that are probably a potentially pain. We've got distribution going on here. We've got negative signs. And my gosh, it's just got the whole ball of wax where there could just be problems after problems, right? Compounding problems on top of problems. All right, well, that's all for that. Let's go ahead and look at the most simplified way we can annihilate this. And that just comes with the fractions first, right? If we look at the 4, the 3, and the 6, what do we have? We got a situation where we can take the common denominator, don't we? So let's go ahead and illustrate how we can just wipe out these fractions with the common denominator really quick. I'm going to actually show you two ways that we can do this. One is going to be a more simplified step. The other one will have an extra step. I just want you to be able to see the arithmetic behind both cases. Well, let's start with the 3/4 over here. The common denominator, I think we said, if we didn't, I'm going to say it again, is 12 because we've got 4, 3, and 6, and 12 is our LCD, the lowest common denominator. And so you've seen a million times, I'm sure, where we just put our common denominator up here, right? And we say 4 will go into itself one time, and then 4 goes into 12 3 times, right? And it does. Nothing wrong with that. Then we would say 3 times 3. We would say 3 times 3 is 9, and we would go on down and down and down until we got to the simplified version. Well, let's just forego that and do it like this, because this would be a much quicker way. All right. We've got 3/4. Again, common denominator, 12. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the numerator. 12 times 3 gives us 36. 36 divided by 4 gives me 9. I'm going to do the same thing over here with this fraction. Common denominator is still 12. 12 times 2 is my 24, and 24 divided by 3 gives me an 8, but it's a negative 8. Let's make sure we recognize that. Over here, we've got the same situation with 5, 6. I'm just going to multiply the numerator by 12. That's going to give us 60, and then 60 divided by 6 gives me it gives us a 10 on the right-hand side of the equals. All right, well, I'm just going to go ahead now and bring everything down. I don't want to skip these steps yet. I do want to show you how the distribution works. So I'm going to go ahead and just restate this here, the 2x minus 1 in parentheses. And then the 8 will be distributed here to the 3x plus 4. And I'll just bring this down as well, the x plus 7, the shift function, if you will. Okay. Well, this is going to be relatively simple now because I'm going to distribute, right? And if you haven't seen distribution before, it's real simple. I'm just going to take the 9 here to the 2x, and then I'll take the 9 here to the negative 1, and I'll do the same thing with all the rest of this. But look how this is flattened out in one fell swoop. We went from this to this without really any effort. All right, well, 9 times 2x gives me my 18x, and then 9 times a negative 1 is a negative 9. All right, well, I'm going to take this negative 8. Let's keep that in mind. That's why I chose this problem. The negative 8 is going to go to the 3x here, and then it's going to go under here to the 4 as well. I'm actually distributing multiplication over the addition is what's going on here. The negative 8 is being applied here to the 3x. That's going to give us a negative 24x. And then a negative 8 times a positive 4 gives us what? Yeah, it gives us a negative 32. And that is equal to, I'm just distributing, if I can say it, 10 to the x, and that'll be the 10x. And then if I take the 10 and multiply it over the positive here, that's going to give us 10 times 7, and that's 70. All right, well, let's see, first things first, let's think about combining like terms because we've got a 24x here and an 18x here, don't we? Well, we do. So that's going to give us what? Well, that's a negative 6x. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out this because that's really a good thing to do when we're dealing with this many potential complications. All right. Well, now I've got a negative 9 and a negative 32. What is that? Well, that's going to give us a negative 41 in this case, isn't it? All right. Well, that's going to be equal to, we've got 10x. And then what do I have? I've got a plus 70. I don't think I wrote it down over here, and I didn't, but I will now. Well, again, we're going to combine like terms, and I'm going to bring this 10x over here, and I'm going to bring it over here to the negative 6x. What's going to happen whenever I bring this positive, though, it's going to go ahead and turn into a negative, and a negative 10x and a negative 6x are, yeah, that gives us a negative 16x. I'll cross these guys out too so we can keep this mess straight. Well, what happens now when I have a negative 41 plus a positive 70? Yeah, now this turns into a positive. So I've got 70 plus 40, 41, and that gives us a what? Well, that gives us 111. All right. Moving right along, we are solving for x. We said that, right? Well, if we didn't, that's implied, and I'm saying it now. So let's divide both sides by 16. That'll isolate for this x. I should say negative 16. That will cancel the 16 out, giving us our x, which is what we were trying to find in the first place, right? And if we divide it by negative 16 on the left-hand side, I've got to do it on the right-hand side here. This is a negative 16, which means what? Well, that's our answer. It's a negative 111 over 16, or we can even do a negative 6 15 sixteenths if we wanted to simplify it into a mixed number. Well, that's all the time we have for here on Math Madness. I am Matt Mathersum. I'm going to see you guys really soon.